Hi everyone, it's Dutch Reefer here and welcome to a new episode of the Reef Life. Today I'm going to do a February recap where I will show you some of the changes that have been happening over the past month, just like I did in January over that month. So if you have watched my previous two videos, you might have already seen some of the changes, so I won't rehash everything that I've told in those videos, because then it would be kind of repetitive. But I will take you through some of the highlights and developments inside the tank. Well, the most recent development and addition is that of a new copperband. You might have already spotted it. It's currently on the left side of the tank, and I'll zoom into it now. It's been in here for just 2 days, so it's still a little scared now and then, but it's getting along to the tank quite nicely already, getting used to the tank. I specifically asked my local reef store, Aquason in Amsterdam, if they could find a very small specimen for me. And I know there's some risk involved, but nevertheless I wanted one that could grow with the tank, and not one that is already quite a big size, so then it would get a bit big for the tank very soon. This one has still quite some room to grow and time to grow. And one of the other things is that in my previous tank, I've also had a very small copper band that had lived for over 7 years. So I'm very curious to see if this one will also adapt to the tank life in the same way and hopefully live just as long. For now, since yesterday, it has started feeding on mysis, so I'm very hopeful that it will do well in the tank. And if it won't, you'll see it soon enough, because then it won't be in the next videos. But for now, I'm pretty hopeful that it will do well. One of the other big changes is that I've moved a large portion of the rock that was right here out of the tank, sold that to another reefer, and there's still some residue left, some corals that were on this piece of rock that I decided to keep. Those are some of the bounce, oh not the bounce mushrooms, but the mushrooms right here, and some of the Ricordea that are right here. And also this piece of Blastomusa, or apologies, Micromusa, so Acanthostrea micromusa, that's right here, a very beautiful specimen that luckily for me is doing quite well inside the tank. I had hopes for it, but it's always a bit of a risk when you buy such a delicate piece of coral, if it's doing well or not. But luckily it has been doing well. The Euphyllias have also been doing pretty well. This one on the left that I got pretty recent, and this one on the right that I've had for a very long time, I think 8 to 10 months now. It's also growing pretty rapidly, and in the evening when it's a bit more retracted you can also see some new heads developing near the base of the coral. So it's very happy right here. It's in a good place, not too much light, not too much flow, a bit under the overhang here. All in all, a good place for a beautiful specimen. And talking about beautiful specimens, this chalice right here, I'm still not quite sure if it's a Raja Rampage or a Space Invaders chalice. If you have an idea, please feel free to comment. But nevertheless, it's a beautiful green disc with the yellow eyes that are very easily distinguishable. So that remains to be a prime piece inside the tank, which overall looks pretty green still, so I'm trying to work on that. But overall, there's a lot of green coral here. For example, this large softie, or actually softie, since there's one here as well. This is actually the same piece that's right here. So they came from the same frag, and they grow out pretty quickly. So it might be time to prune them down a bit in the near future. On the other end, there's some euphyllias as well. You have seen this before if you've seen my previous videos, but as you can see, they are enjoying themselves right here. A bit more light here, a bit more flow, a bit more current, but they're adapting well. And as you can see, they're just a big, beautiful mess of green spaghetti and somewhat more orange, yellow spaghetti right here. What has also been doing pretty well, actually, since the beginning of the tank is this piece of green star polyp. The piece that you see right here, in between the Stylophora and the Colostrea, that's actually the base piece that I got at first, no, nearly 10 months ago, I think. Then I glued that there on the back of the overflow box, and this whole piece has emerged from that, grown from that. And now even up to a point where it's starting to grow inside the overflow box right here. So what I'll do after making this video, I'll take a knife and I'll slice off a bit just under the overflow, where it reaches the overflow, and then I'll use that piece to glue on this empty piece of the overflow box. So there's more green star polyp that can grow evenly across the entire overflow, which makes it look pretty cool. And there is another piece here. That's one that I got more recent, and the good news is that has also started spreading upwards. As you can see on the top, you can see it better from the side. A new tissue is growing there, and it's emerging, and eventually it will grow up as well across the back pane. I think a bit to the left, a bit to the right, mostly upwards. So all in all, by removing the large portion of rock on the left, that has created a lot more space for the base reef structure. That was a lot more to the right, but I've moved it about 10 centimeters to the left. As you can see, there's a lot more room here right now, so that there's overall a better flow inside the tank, provided by the AI Nero 5s on the back. They do need a regular clean now and then. As you can see, these are pretty dirty. I cleaned this one this morning, or at least the inside, not the outside, because there was a snail stuck inside. They tend to do that. But overall, I'm very happy with the flow of these three flow pumps inside the tank. And of course, there's this little Swantes garden that I've moved from, oh actually it was also here on the big rock, and then moved all those here to have a bit more light. Flow is about the same, but they are doing very well under these new lighting conditions. This one's a bit more dark right here, and these ones are more into the, well, actually directly under the light, as you can see right here. The other corals that are more on towards the top of the tank, the SPS corals, have also been doing pretty well. I've actually tuned the lights to be a bit more on the blue side, as you have probably already noticed from this video. Removed a bit of the white, removed a bit of the green and red, also to prevent algae. And the intensity up by 10%, from 40 to 50%. And the corals have been enjoying that thoroughly, as you can see right here. I think this is the best example of why this tank is doing well, or example how the tank has been doing well actually. This piece of Acropora, I think it's a tricolor, has formed a large base on the rock itself, and then also has been developing pretty insanely towards the end. So very happy with that. This one is also starting to get a bit better. It was turning a bit brown, so I started tuning my water parameters. If you have more questions about my water values and water parameters, I would direct you to my previous video where I'll tell you all about my tanks, water parameters, and how they got there over the last 12 months. Yeah, so pretty stoked with how the Acropora are doing. I'm actually considering buying a bit more Acropora right now because they have been doing very well for a couple of months, and I hope they continue to do so. So last but not least, these two Stylophora. I'm actually very happy that I've placed them together because then you can compare them easily. As you can see, they differ in color. The one is green, the other one is purple, the standard purple color. But overall they look very nice, and it's always nice to have a bit of Stylophora in your tank. They are not too difficult to keep, yet pretty beautiful. And the last thing I wanted to cover is actually an update that's not going to happen. I was planning on replacing my Ecotech Radions, and these are G5s, so Gen 5s, with reef breeders, Radion. But I came to a conclusion with the owner of Reef Breeders that maybe my tank is not yet ready for them. But we'll keep talking, and perhaps there's a new collaboration in the future when they release lights with a broader spectrum that's easily tunable, because I do prefer a specific lighting above my tank. After all, this tank is in our living room, and well, I'd like to enjoy it as much as possible with the colors that I prefer. So overall, very happy with how that discussion went. We agreed to call it off for now, but who knows in the future what will happen. So for now, I'll keep these lights, and they will keep lighting this reef tank. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to do so. The two of my recent videos were about viewer questions. So if there's something on your mind that you would like to have discussed in more depth that I can tell you about, please feel free to ask in the comments, and I will take a look at that. And if it's interesting enough for me to talk about, if I have enough to talk about, then I will consider it for one of the upcoming videos. So for now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great week ahead of you. Bye bye.